All right, guys, your boy TOJ. I want to talk about the movie Harriet. I kept getting hit up on Facebook about the movie Harriet. Did I like it? Did I see it? And I didn't think it was fair for me to judge the movie without seeing it first. So I did see it tonight on the computer. Somebody gave me a DVD bootleg or whatever because I wasn't giving it any money, but I went to go see the movie anyway, and I sit down an hour ago, just saw the movie, and it's just as bad as I actually heard it was. Now, if you look at the movie without knowledge, um, I'll say it this way: if you look at the movie Harriet and you just want to see Harriet Tubman on TV do Harriet Tubman type of stuff, you'll be excited because you probably get to see a black lady hold a gun, talk shit, and be like a badass. Once you turn the emotions off and you absorb and start recognizing all the all the symbolism in it, then you get upset. I actually watched this lawyer named Tone Talks and Yvette Carnell. Once I watched the two of them give their take on the movie, then they explained everything that I was suspicious about. All my suspicions came true that the black slave catcher literally never even existed. And this guy beat the living shit out of Janelle Monae's character to the point where I was like, what the fuck? I mean, it actually made me hate him even more. So I've seen a couple of women on Twitter, white ladies, who said their daughters was like literally afraid of black men after they saw what that dude did to Janelle Monae. And that's just, fictional characters. So it shows that they just made this crazy evil black dude for no reason. And unfortunately, they did villainize the black men in the movie. There's a scene that I remember like not vividly. It's the iconic photograph of the young Harriet Tubman with the little necklace thing on, the little like the little bow tie. And the guy was trying to do the photo shoot, and he tried to arrange. You know how have you done a photo shoot before? You've had a photographer say, "Smile this way, look that way." Compose your arm, fold your legs, like that. So I've done photo shoots, and there's a scene where the brother from the anti-slavery movement, I forgot what it's called. He tried to try to arrange her for the photographer, and she slapped his hand away like, "Don't fucking touch me, nigga." I mean, that's literally like all that was conveyed in one hand slap. Also, there's a couple of scenes where she will say something like, "You don't get to tell me what to do. You don't tell me what to do. What do you mean? You forbid me to go. I'm gonna go anyway." And they also kept saying, they kept showing these images. There was scenes in a movie where Harriet Tubman was talking to God. This is the craziest shit that blew my. This would took me out the movie right here. There's a scene. I'm not gonna spoil it. Trust me. Where she's like they're running from the white people, so to speak, and they're in the middle of like a swamp area, and she's like yoga style with her legs crossed, just doing this like, and her eyes are closed, but she's mumbling something like ooh. And the slaves are like, and the slaves are like, bro, what the fuck is she doing? Sitting on the ground mumbling. We don't know where to go because we're following her, and the person that we're following is sitting on the ground right here mumbling like in a trance. And some guy go, oh no, don't talk to her. She's talking to God. And I say, I'm done. But of course, I'm still watching it. I got to do a review, so I gotta know what the fuck I'm talking about. So finally, she gets up and says, like God said, go to the left, and she says, go that way. Don't go that way. They got people waiting on us. Like she can see the future or something. Then there's another scene that made me hate the movie more. Is the scene where they cross the swamp. I'm not going to ruin it. When you see that part, that's like the miracle, spiritual God part of the movie. And it's more of a movie where you don't want to say it, but unfortunately, it's one of them love white people kind of movies. Not where her and a white man don't hook up at all. She does not have a white love interest in the movie to that regard. It's just that the slave master's son got a really weird sexual obsession with her. They never had intercourse. He never touches her, but for some odd reason, he is strangely obsessed with catching Harriet Tubman to the point where when the black slave catcher was literally about to catch her, The white man who was chasing her saved her from the black man he hired to catch her. So it's really one of them crazy things where you're like, what the fuck was that about? Also, there's another scene in a movie that makes no sense that took me out of it was the part that would have made me like it. And if you're a white person watching this, just understand the context. There was a scene where she actually had the gun to the chest of the white man who was chasing her the whole movie, cocked and loaded. She didn't kill him. She let him go. I said, you got to be fucking done. I could see on the computer screen and said like 15 minutes left. So I knew that wasn't completely the end of the movie, but she had the guy who had killed all of her friends right fucking there. The real Harriet Tubman, from what I know, she killed other black people. There was other Uncle Toms, Sambos, and Coons who was like, I can't go no further. I'm going to report you. And she pulled a gun out and killed him. So she wasn't scared to use that fucking, the gun. So it's one of them kind of like PG-13-ish kind of movies where you you kind of don't want to really go full blown and show you how bad slavery was, but you kind of just let the people that's watching it know, yes, this is during the slavery era, because obviously she was born as a slave. The one thing about the movie that I do like that I didn't know that her real name wasn't Harriet Tubman. Her name was Minty, like Minty, like the mint. So it's one of them situations where it's a good movie if you go to it just to see Harriet Tubman do stuff, but to get a really good, honest biopic look at Harriet Tubman, like they did the movie Ray. The reason the movie Ray was so good was that Jamie Foxx became Ray Charles, and Ray Charles was actually still alive while they were filming the movie because Ray Charles had to find somebody who could play Ray Charles. So it's one of them things where, you know what I'm saying now, like when you do a biopic of somebody, the same thing with Rocket Man. Rocket Man didn't do as well as they thought it would, but at least Elton John is kind of still alive. So you can't make a movie about Elton John. But this woman here has documents and records, and a lot of people don't really know the daily, day by day life of Harriet Tubman. But in her narratives, it was easy to find out, enough stuff to where you can make an accurate enough movie without the bias, the black man hating bias that was in this movie. It's one of those things where once, and I'm being honest with y'all. I'm the opinion junkie. I really don't lie. I liked the movie until I fucked up and watched Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks do the 30-minute breakdown of their review of the movie. And once they broke down all the symbolism, all the shit that I didn't see, then I was like, damn, y'all ruined the movie for me. So I kind of sort of liked it, with the exception of the stupid spiritual stuff and them crossing the swamp and heard the trance. But once they broke down why they made a black slave catcher, and the fact that that black slave catchers never even existed, then it made sense. Because it's one of those things where you like movies until your smarter friend, the smarter person than you, break down shit you didn't see. That's what happened to me, unfortunately. So if you go to this movie, just go with it, unplug your mind, and you will like the movie. If you're educated and you kind of know the history of Harriet Tubman, you're not gonna like the movie. Like I kind of sort of liked it until I made the mistake of watching other people give the reasons why they didn't like it. Then I was like, oh, then I understood why all the bad publicity kept coming up, because a lot of stuff did make sense. And I'm gonna tell you one thing: Cynthia Erivo did a really good job of faking an American accent. The only thing I don't like is that she just did not have the spirit that I would assume Harriet Tubman would have in that day and age. You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where I would say Harriet Tubman is a movie where I'm not going to suggest it, but if you see it, just go with an open mind and don't just expect anything. Go for the entertainment value. Don't go for the educational or the historical context, because it's completely out of context. Some stuff did happen, but the white slave master never existed. The guy who was obsessed with her, he didn't exist. Janelle Monáe's character never existed. She was only there to give you somebody to feel sorry for when the black man came and beat the living death out of her. it made you hate that nigga guts. I'm still mad at him right now for taking the fucking role, whatever whoever the actor is. Anyway, guys, that's the best I can give you. It's a long movie, good score, but there's some music choices I didn't like. You when you hear it, it's a Nina Simone song, but when you hear it, I'm like, ugh. They could have picked another song that would have matched that particular scene, but it is what it is, man. Some folks are gonna like it, some folks are gonna hate it, and it's getting mixed reviews. Right now, it's got 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it seemed that it's just one of those things where the movie opened up to a $12 million opening. Some people are saying that's a great weekend. I'm hearing it should have opened up upwards of $20 million. So I don't know, man. 12 Years a Slave did good. I guess it made 46 million at the box office. Um, what else was another movie that came out that they said they were trying to compare it to 12 Years a Slave and something. I think Selma or something, some other movie like that. Anyway, guys, hit like, share, and subscribe. Put your comments in the section below. If you seen the movie, I seen it, kind of liked it. The costumes were great. That's another thing. These not era like the certain movies that take place in like old days. I forgot. I'm trying to find the cinema term for it. I think it's called an era piece. But anyway, they did a good job. Costuming was good. I don't know where they filmed it at, but for the most part, they did a really good job on the costuming. And that I didn't like that they did have these really weird people in situations that wasn't necessarily accurate for that moment in time. And I think that Casey Lemons did that shit on purpose, because from what I know and what I've heard from the more smarter people who actually know the history of the it's period pieces. There we go. It was period piece. This period piece, yeah, it's just there's certain things about the movie that didn't make sense, and people who actually knew her history was breaking it down, and unfortunately, that's the unfortunate situation with this movie. The folks that know are going to be upset. The folks who don't know, the Christians, are going to love it. This is a really, really hardcore Christian movie. And that's the best I can give you, man. I'm trying to be honest, trying not to be biased. But I am a black man, and I did not like the Black Bounty Hunter at all. But outside of that, I did hate that nigga guts. I'm out of here.